Okay, third and final part of the overview. We've talked about Java Executor Framework in general. We've talked about the different types of thread pools it supports. I give you a human known use. I talked about some of the key interfaces. Now I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of some of the factory methods that the Java Executors utility class defines. So remember, Executors with an S is a utility class that mostly creates stuff. There's some other things it does too, but it's mostly has a bunch of factory methods to make things. We talked about what a utility class is. That's good to remember. Good thing to remember about Java in general. It'll help you understand how Java's class library is defined. There's a bunch of factory methods that make the desired executors, so it should be no surprise that a new fixed thread pool factory method makes a fixed thread pool executor, or fixed thread pool implementation. The cache thread pool makes a cache thread pool. The work stealing pool makes a fork join pool. And then we have a bunch of other factory methods that are a little bit more weird, like single-threaded scheduled executor and single-threaded executor. So you can make single-threaded implementations of things. And then new scheduled thread pool, which makes a thread pool that handles the time and future and periodic time processing of tasks. And then we have some that just do single-threaded stuff. Again, which may seem a little weird, but there's a reason for doing it that way. There's also a factory method that will create new threads. So there's a class called thread factory, and the Executor framework has pairs of methods. You can see them back over here. So if you take a look, for example, there's new fixed thread pool int, where you just give the number of threads you want in the pool. And then there's also new fixed thread pool int thread factory, where you pass in a thread factory. A thread factory is a class that is used by the Executor service to make the threads that that thread pool wants. Why the heck would you ever want to do that? Because there's certain things, there's certain properties of threads you might want to control, or you might want to have controlled on your behalf, such as what's the priority of the thread? What does it start out with? Is it a high priority thread? Is it a low priority thread? Is it a daemon thread? Is it a non-daemon thread? I think we talked briefly about daemons and non-daemons. The point is that by using these factories, you can tell the framework what kind of thread you want it to make on your behalf. There's a default thread factory that just makes a good old thread. So there's nothing special, nothing fancy about it. But if you want to take control, you can extend thread factory, make your own thread factory, and then fill in what it does. And one reason I mention this is that future assignments in the class will require you to make a custom thread factory. All right, so that's actually pretty much all there is. Let me just save this real quick.